From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew.
Hello and welcome to episode 137 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. I'm Ed Green and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Warren Carr, Austin Pinto, Karine Kiwan, John Dyer and Doug Cameron. And we are coming to you on Saturday, the 22nd of July, 2023. And it is absolutely raining hard in London. On this episode, we have our usual announcements. In our Android Basics section, we conclude our look at the PlayStore. And in the Spotlight section, Warren unboxes the Nothing Phone 2. And do have a listen to that and await the follow-up review. So how are we all? Karine, what's happening?
Hello, everything is well here. Actually, I've decided to stop complaining about the heat because I knew how hot it is in other parts of the world. So I considered the 30 degrees not hot weather. So for this reason, I'm okay with the weather this week.
Oh, good. And how are the hudud?
Very well.
Good. And John, darling boy, what's happening in Virginia?
Not too much. This is the first week in a while where I didn't have a new device to play with, but I did return a lot of things. So I think I must have dropped off 4 or 5 things at UPS this week.
You've kept the Amazon though, haven't you?
Yes, I kept it.
Yeah. I may, in some section that isn't immediately labelled, ask you to elaborate on the return of the fold, but we'll see where I put that, if indeed I do.
Okay.
Warreningtons, what's happening in Dryington State?
We are still dry out here in my location. Believe it or not, we haven't had a drop of rain. And, I say this, though, this July, though, hasn't been too bad. Usually, we have several days of near 100 or 100 degree, 3-digit degree weather. We haven't quite had that. We came close. I think we had 99 the day before and the day prior. And I think today we might get close there. Maybe we may hit that 3-digit today. I'm not sure. But I'm finally getting the last big stump of that tree off my yard. I was working on it yesterday evening till about 9:30. And I think if I work on it today again, I probably get it off today. So I'm excited about it. The yard looks really nice.
Nice. As well as raining, it's flat out cold here. Like it's mid-50s. I don't know why. Like it's never this cold in
I love
rains
that.
a lot.
That would be nice.
Or July. No, it's not. It's not warm at all. Austin, how is life in Bombay?
So I think Mumbai and British, they share the same weather. It is raining absolutely hard in Mumbai, like from the start of last week onwards till now it is raining. And then one day we got stuck. It took almost 4 hours to get from office to home, which normally takes 1 hour. So it is just completely flooded.
That is a long time. That sounds very annoying indeed. And Dougie Doug, what's going on in Alberta?
Not a whole lot, just humid and hot. So, yeah, not too bad. Just humid, hot, and staying where it's cool.
Nice. The freezer.
I have seriously thought about that.
Yeah.
But
I think
I won't fit, sadly.
This is the announcement segment of Blind Android Users Podcast. Stay tuned to hear important information regarding the podcast, surveys, and the latest news.
Well, let's have a look at the announcements then. Austin, have you got anything for us?
Blind Android users family is 1,000 members strong. We just before the recording would start, actually, we crossed 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know when we crossed it. It must be morning my time that time.
One other thing to say, the app Bonanza is moving from the 29th of July, because next week we have Samsung Unpacked, so more on that, and we'll have the review of the Nothing Phone 2. So we are moving the app Bonanza to the following Saturday, the 5th of August.
I do want to thank you guys for making Austin's dream come true. That is by making us reach that 1,000 mark of YouTube subscriptions. And so if you are hearing us, we want 1,000 more. So we're going to be pining away for another 1,000. Shall we make that at the end of next year? Looking forward to it, guys. Take us there. Thank you so much.
I seem to recall Austin making a promise to the listeners when we would reach 1,000. Something was supposed to happen, wasn't it?
You are
What was
correct,
that?
John. He's supposed to tell us his age. So, Austin, you are bound to that promise.
So first of all, it is not only my dream, but everyone's dream that we should cross this mark, and we have. So the real number is 36.
Aha. So, therefore, if you've been wanting to know as to how old Austin is, he finally told you how old he is. And the only way you could get to know Austin's age is YouTube subscriptions. And finally, you made it. And so 36, I can remember when I was 36. So a long time ago.
But you told us on the podcast you like 32 last year, didn't you? Like, how have you increased by 4 years?
No, I must be 35 then.
Correct. The other thing to say, everybody, though, is that we are a podcast, and I at least recognize that for a predominantly audio podcast, YouTube is a phenomenally inefficient way to listen to it. So if you don't want to subscribe to the YouTube channel and you want to use a podcatcher, which is kinder to your internet connection, as I say, because it's predominantly audio, then please do that. Obviously, I would love you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, but please don't allow us to make you feel we're driving you down a particular platform, because we are absolutely not.
You're listening to the Blind Android Users podcast.
This is Android Basics, in which we bring you up to date on the things that you should know to use your Android phone.
And now we turn to our Android Basics section, and we conclude our look at the Play Store with Warren demonstrating family management and device certification.
As we continue with our Play Store exploration, we will be looking at the last two items found within the Play Store settings. You activate your Play Store or getting to the settings by first launching the Play Store, then tapping on your username on the top right corner, and then going down through the items that pop up from that and tap on Settings. I am now in the settings, and the item we're looking at today are the last two items found in the settings. The first one has to do with family-related stuff, and this is what I'm talking about.
Family, parental control, parent guide. Click to expand the family settings section.
This is collapsed, and so I'll tap here to expand.
Click to collapse the family settings section.
The family settings section has now been expanded, and moving my finger down, I come across
Manage family members.
Manage family members. This is where you can go in and remove members or add new members. Because of security reasons, I'm not going to give my kids' names out here, but I'll show you what I'm talking about, for example.
Family management. Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
Below that is all the names of my family members and all of that. To remove a member, you simply tap on their name, and you can tap on the More options found on the top right corner, and the menu that pops up, tap on Remove. You could also restrict or choose how items are shared with them or how they get items that you add to the family. For example, I'm going to tap on one of them without revealing their name.
Member settings. Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
I just tapped on one of those and we hear member settings.
Purchase approvals. Only in-app purchases using the family payment method.
And if you tap here, for example,
Navigate up. Button.
and the options we have for this kit would be,
All purchases using the family payment method. Radio button. Not selected. 1 of 3. In list.
so I
3
could set
items.
it to all of them, or
Only in-app purchases. Radio button. Selected. 2 of 3.
only in-app purchases if you want that to be the only one you control, or
No approval required. Radio button. Not selected. 3 of 3.
no approval required. Of course, like I said, if you tap on the more options on the top right, you can remove that person. And now I'll go back.
Navigate up. Button.
Now toward the bottom, we've got a couple items, and that's below the list of names that you have. We got
Invite family member. 1 invitation left. 6 of 7.
invite a family member. So if you have another family member that you want to add, you tap here and go choose to add that family member. Below that, we got
Manage parent privileges. Button. 7 of 7.
manage the parent privileges and what you can do. You tap on there. Let's go back.
PlayStore. Manage family members. In list.
The next item below manage family members will be
Family library settings.
the family library settings. In here, you could choose how things are shared. For
Family
example,
library settings. Family library settings. Out of list. Shown
you could
items 1
choose
to 4
whether
of 4.
or not every time you add an app, a game, a TV show, movie, or a book, it should be automatically added, or you could choose how that is added to those family members. Here's what I'm talking about. The first item we got is
Apps and games. Add items automatically when purchased. 2 of 4. In list. 4 items.
apps and games get automatically added. Of course, if you tap on here, you'll see the different options. I'll tap here to show you what I'm talking about.
Apps and games. Apps and games. Out of list.
And we got
Purchased apps can be added automatically if eligible, or you can add them yourself after you buy them. When items are added to family library, your family members will see that you purchased them.
all right, below that.
Add items automatically when purchased. Radio button. Selected. 1 of 2. In list. 2 items.
So by default, they're added automatically, or
Don't add automatically. I'll do it myself. Radio button. Not selected. 2 of 2.
that's do not add automatically. Let me choose who I want to get this and who not to get.
To add, remove an item anytime, go to its detail page. Out of list.
And you could go to the details of the app if you want to remove it.
Remove items from family library.
And or you could tap remove items from family library. Let's go back.
Family library settings. Family library settings.
The next item we come across has to do with movies and TV shows and things.
Movies and TV. Add items automatically when purchased. 3 of 4.
So it's the same idea like what we saw about the apps and games in the last item here.
Books. Add items automatically when purchased. 4 of 4.
Books, the same idea. Let's go back.
Family library settings.
Now moving from the family library settings, below that we've got
Manage approval requests.
manage approval/requests. In other words, someone could request something, and if I tap here, for example,
Approval requests. Approval requests. Out of list.
we got 2 tabs here at the top. The first tab we have is
Pending. Selected.
we have the pending, and that's the one that's selected by default. Of course, to the right of that, we got
History.
history. Now, if I move my finger down, all the pending requests should be showing here.
You're all caught up. Page. In pager.
And I'm told I'm all caught up because there's no pending requests. If I tap on history, I'll see all the requests that were made, but I don't have such a thing. So I'm going to go back. And next, below that, we got
Parental controls. Off.
parental controls off. In other words, I don't have any that I'm managing. And so if I check this and I have others that I'm managing, then anytime they're installing an app, it will send it to me saying, hey, so-and-so wants to install such and such an app. would you let them install the app? It will also show you the Play Store listing of the app so you could see whether it's appropriate for that person or for that kid or not. Below that, we got the last item,
Parent guide.
the parent guide. So in other words, if you tap here, you go read about what's in there as a guide. The last item from these settings will be the About and Certification.
About. Play Store. Build version. Device certification. Click to expand the About settings section.
So we come across the last item and also to check to see if your device is certified. If I tap here, for example,
Click to collapse the About settings section.
and I tapped and it says click to collapse it. And below that, we've got
About Google Play.
About Google Play. Next.
Open source licenses. License details for open source software.
So all the open source licenses below that.
Play Store version. Version 36.6.2029. 0 PR 547,915,177.
That's the Play Store version that my device is running. And below that,
Update Play Store button.
you could tap there to update the Play Store. And below that, we have the Learn More.
Learn more button.
And the last item here is
Play Protect certification. Device is certified.
Play Protect device certification, and I'm told that my device is certified. If I tap here, for example,
RS browser. Navigate up button out of list.
it opens up a browser that I can read more about the certification process and all of that and how to go about finding out how to certify or check to see if your device is certified or not. So for example, if I put my finger down,
Check your Play Protect certification status. Heading 1.
and if I triple tap with two fingers to read from the next item,
https:// 1. 1 of 4 items. Open the Google Play Store app. Google Play. Graphic. Period. 2. 2 of 4. At the top right, tap the profile icon. Period. 3. 3 of 4. Tap Settings. Period.
so in other
4.
words, it's reading
To check
for
if your
you
device is Play
the
Protect.
very things or the very steps that I've taken you through. That's how you go to check your device certification. I will now hand this over to the podcast crew so we could deliberate on these things that I have mentioned so far.
Thank you, Warren. Family management is certainly something I use a lot of. We have umpteen devices connected to the Play Store. The daughter has a tablet, which now has a SIM card because the wife and I were fed up of her needing to use our Wi-Fi connections. So she's had that for a little while, and it is handy. Do you use it much more in the family management? I guess you do, don't you?
I used it for a while, and frankly, it came in very handy because, sometimes kids are very naughty. And what I like about it is the fact that, no app gets installed without you authorizing it. And besides, it shows you what the app is all about. So it takes you or shows you the Play Store entry for that app so you can review it and see if it's appropriate. So if you have little ones at home and stuff like that, I think that's the best way to manage that. And also, bedtime mode is something that, comes in handy because, you could, do that. But most importantly, it's a way to be able to share apps or, buy apps and just make it available to everybody. I think it allows for up to 5 people to be on your family team. And so it's a good way to share apps, and you can decide who gets what, or by default, everyone gets it. But if there's some naughty ones in there that you don't want them to get certain things, then you could say, this one doesn't get it. I really like that whole idea about choosing how you share those apps. And you can remove people, as I showed in that preamble. You can remove someone. And now, though, I don't have someone that I monitor anymore, but at least they can share my apps. And I tell you, I got like over 100 apps there that are tied to the family area, and you can add and remove people at will.
What are you supposed to do if you live in like a Georgia trailer park and you've got 10 kids?
So I think that may be like a movie trailer of some sort, right? I'm not into movies, so I have no clue. John?
No, like no. If you're just from Georgia and you live in a trailer park and you have 10 kids,
Oh,
what
come on.
are you supposed to do?
You're taking a jab at my people, and that's not fair.
Well, no, I'm taking a jab at Google. They've got a limit on five family members. That is a particular view on
you
what
have
a
to
family
pay
should
for
look like.
2 families. That's what it is. I do have a question though about, so do app developers have to opt into this, like, or does every app, can you buy every app once and use it for 5 people?
So
You
the
know that?
family sharing or the family whatever, I think it came through in 2016 as of July. I think maybe it was July 2nd. Every app thereafter has the ability or is part of it, is automatically part of the family sharing. But if it's something prior till 2016, July of 2016, it will not qualify for that family thing. So it's something that came through about some 6 or so years ago, 7 years, whatever, from 2016.
Okay, cool. That's actually, if it works the same way with, like you mentioned, the movies and TV and books, that's actually not a bad deal, because like with Audible, I can link my account to Ashley's and have, but we can only have 2 of us sharing. Like, but it seems like with this, you could buy an audiobook on Play Books and share it with 5 people or 4 other people.
That is true. And that's what I like about it. They're a little bit generous compared to other family sharings, because as you can hear in my demo, it says I had 1 more left. There are 5 of us in the family. And I don't know, maybe Google gave me an extra one. I don't know how come I'm having 6. So maybe it doesn't count me. So maybe I think it counts. I don't know. It's kind of odd. I don't know what's going on.
Or did you opt one out so you're not monitoring them anymore? Or is that that's a subset, isn't it?
Yeah, well, my oldest daughter's in college now, 20. But she's still part of that. She still gets
It's
the benefit.
all the more reason to have monitoring on, I would have thought.
Yeah. So it's really nice to have that family sharing, because you have access to things, or if there's something that someone requests to be on there, say a kid finds some app that they're really interested in and I'm not, they could send a request, say, hey, I would like to get this app, and I can go in there and add it, and they instantly have that app.
Yeah. The wife's still on the Apple side, but when I was on that, we used it a lot, and it really paid for itself when I bought Navigon, which is the GPS app, and it was expensive for a mainstream app. It was like £30, and so just instantly shared it. And so if you're paying for stuff, then family sharing is really good. And presumably you've got the monitoring turned up to the max on the wife, have you? I hope.
Yeah, well, it's. But how come your wife is on the other side, Ed?
She do what she wants. I'm not that bothered. As long as she cooks my dinner, it's fine.
I know how you feel, Ed. I'm in the same boat there.
Yeah,
like
exactly. So actually, 2 of you guys, you got rebellious wives.
That's
Yeah,
all right.
this is all news to me. I don't have a digital family when it comes to Google. It's just me. My kid's not old enough to use devices and have his own account, and my wife is with Apple.
So that as long as the clothes get ironed and the dinner gets cooked, she can use it when she wants.
That's really interesting. So see, my entire family is all Android, and so much,
Is that because you made them be?
No, actually, no, I really didn't. Because before I met Julia, she was already on Android. So it's really interesting.
That's why you met her, though. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
You pulled on the basis of operating system.
I wanted someone on the same page.
He met her on androidfangirls.com.
I probably should.
You probably did.
That's where the Android boys should go to look for, their spouses,
If
better halves.
if you form your relationships on the basis of operating system, then by all means, found if it doesn't exist, or go to androidfangirls.com or boys or whatever.
But what I'm really proud of is that my entire family is all Android, even extended families, all Android. So we don't have a rebel. I think there's one, maybe my father-in-law has the Fruitvale device. And of course, because that's what he got started on, and he's older, he doesn't even know what he has. Anyways, he just has a phone.
See, you tell him he's on Android anyway.
I mean, we could give him an Android, he wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, maybe do it the other way around. Give him a Fisher Price and tell him it's Apple's latest phone.
Exactly. Or maybe the Nothing 2, since it looks so much like a Fruitvale device. Won't know the difference.
Yeah.
So another part that I really like is that device certification. And, Google has partners. Samsung, I think Xiaomi is also a partner. So if you want to check to see if your device is Play Protect certified, you can follow those steps that we have enumerated there, and you could see if your device is certified or not. And I like that because then you have that Play Protect. I mean, everyone has Play Protect, but some are not certified, and it will tell you you're not certified if yours is not certified.
And I know one of the note takers is, at least, and I can't remember which it is. Maybe they both are, but one of HIMS or Humanware got their latest device certified, I think. Either the Touch Plus or the Braille Sense 6. So you may well find you have that too.
The Play Store is something that is constantly changing, and I think there's something coming on. We've been through the Play Store trying to explore every bit and piece of it as best as we could. However, now and then there's a change, and if there's another change, we'll be sure to talk about it as soon as possible. And I know that there's one that's on the horizon, especially like it will show you how an app is going to look on a different device. Maybe it's a tablet, maybe it's a watch or whatever, and we'll also show you how many installs that app has on that particular form factor. So that's a recent thing that Google is working on. I'm not sure if it's live for everyone yet, but that's something that's also coming. And like I said, the Play Store constantly being tweaked, and should anything monumental come through, we'll be sure to let you guys know. But we're thankful that you guys hang in there with us as we explore this Play Store, because you know what? It's the backbone of your phone. Unless, of course, you're one of those that just want to go get something elsewhere and sideload it. But the majority of people depend on the Play Store. And then we thought it was important that we take the time to go through the Play Store and show you all that the Play Store has or does not have.
Absolutely. And if the app is on the Play Store, that's where you should get it from. I like sideloading, but I would never sideload an app I could get from the Play Store. There is literally no point in taking the security risk. So always use the Play Store unless the Play Store doesn't have what you want.
This is the Spotlight segment. Stay tuned for premium interviews, device unboxing and more.
And now we come to our Spotlight section, and it's another unboxing. And Warren he sort of trailed this last week, and then I mentioned it on the Telegram group, and he denied it, which I thought was very funny. But it transpires that he has actually bought the Nothing 2. I didn't know what that reference referred to on the podcast last week. Had you not bought it, Warren? But then in the week, I got a bit. It's like you haven't done it, so. But you did.
I know. So here's what happened, though. So I did that pre-order on the 11th, and I was hoping that it was going to be here by the 17th, or actually, so it was the 17th they started shipping, and I think mine was shipped on the 18th or whatever. I don't remember, but it got here on, was that Wednesday? Something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah. And so I was kind of, beautifully surprised. And, they wanted me to install their tracking app. I'm like, hell no. I just looked it up through USPS and there it was, telling me it's now in Spokane and left. And so I'm like, wow, there it is. And there it came in no time at all. So it's my very first nothing device. Of course, we didn't have the first one here in the States. And so Mr. Pei learned his lesson, things that we should have it here. And I'm glad he let us have it. So I'm reviewing, I'm using the phone. And so we'll have my review next week. It's just, like I said, that phone is a little boxy for my liking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we'll get into that in a minute, but let's play the unboxing.
Hi, Warren Carr here from Blind Android Users Podcast, and I'm sitting here unboxing nothing. And by the way, this is the Nothing 2. The first Nothing phone did not come to the United States. And if you're not familiar with the Nothing, something that we refer to on the Blind Android Users Podcast, when we talked about it last year, we made reference to it as the Christmas tree phone. So this is Nothing 2. Of course, the founder is Carl Pei, who used to be part of the founders of OnePlus and defected and started his own. Yes, today I'm unboxing Nothing. Unlike many people who like to describe what the box looks like, the color of box and all of that, I simply want to get to business. So I just picked this up from the mail and I'm going to try to unbox it. It's a Nothing. And it comes in a square box, if you want to know what the box looks like. And looks like, from the looks of it, after I tear it open, I'll just see the device. See what we got. Okay. Trying to tear off the tip so much. Tip around the ends and all of that, corners. Makes it a little bit difficult. There we go. I think I got it. Not quite. There we go. A little something left here. There we go. There we go. I just unboxed it. Inside is another square box. Reminds me so much of the Pixel Fold box. And of course you want to hear what's in the box. So it has, wow. Let's see what it has. Looks like they gave me a shirt or pair of shorts or something, but some kind of clothing. I think it's most likely a pair of shorts. Definitely, that's what it feels like, a pair of shorts. And that's it. Nothing in that box. I don't think it even has a charging port. Nope, not feeling one. All I'm seeing a pair of shorts. I bet that probably says Nothing on it. So I'm wearing this shirt. I'll be wearing nothing. Oh my goodness. Very minimalistic. Well, I think I'm wrong. I need to open the other box, the other square box. Maybe the cord will be in that. But, so let's put this aside and look at this other box here and see what we got in there. So again, like I said, this looks like the Pixel Fold box. It's also square. And let's see. So I must say that the box is very difficult to pry open, and I don't think I'm even doing it right. I'm probably destroying it as it is. I think I am. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, definitely very difficult to get this thing open. There we go. I practically destroyed the box. I feel sorry for the box. And then I pull it out of that other box and another box. Oh my goodness, I hope this one is not as difficult. All right, the inner one is not difficult. Oops, something comes tumbling off. Let's see. All right, I found what tumbled off. That was the USB-C cord. Now the box itself just opens up, just a flap. Has some kind of embroidery work on the cover. All right, in there we got the USB-C cord. Like I said, there's another little box in here. I believe contains a little bit of paperwork and probably the SIM tool removal tool in there. And the phone is sitting on the other side. There's the phone. Let's take a look. We got wrapped in a little paper there again, and I'm going to try to open this up. Very strong adhesive here. There we go. And out comes the device. So I'm holding the device in my hand, and frankly, feels to me like a Fruitvale phone. If you've been following Fruitvale, the back is glass, and the sides, of course, are metallic. And like Fruitvale, I believe this is the power on the right-hand side, and then the volume keys or volume buttons on the left side. Feeling the top, I feel a little depression on the top right, maybe the antenna. And let's see if there's any SIM port on the side or if it's at the bottom. Let's see, feeling the left side where the volume keys are, I don't believe I feel any holes. Let's feel the right side. I don't feel any either. So let's look at the bottom. Bottom feels like I have the SIM card tray to the left of the USB-C port. The USB-C port is in the middle, and then to the right of it, I believe is a speaker grill, and to the left of it is the SIM card. I'm going to get my SIM ejection tool and try to see if I'm correct. Yep, I'm correct. There is the SIM tray. So again, there it is. Push it back in. So again, at the bottom, you got the SIM tray to the left of the USB-C port, and to the right of it will be the speaker grill. On the back of the phone, we have the cameras, and they're on the right side, on the back toward the top. They are round, so 2 round cameras there at the top right on the back side of the device. All right, so that will be the unboxing of it. I'll be doing a review of it. But though, let's go ahead and turn it on and see if we could start TalkBack with holding down the 2 volume keys or holding 2 fingers on the phone. I'll now turn that thing on, see if I feel any vibration. I hope it's not dead. Oh, there we go. I heard boom. And I'm going to wait. And I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Okay, because I can see a little bit, I can see a very red bright spot in the middle. And of course, some writing at the bottom and some at the top. Unlike the Pixel device, of course, you don't feel the thing that I refer to as the heartbeat, which is the pulsating feel that you feel when it's there on the setup screen. So I'm assuming that this has reached where I could set it up. So I'm going to put my 2 fingers down and see if I hear it instructing me to keep holding those fingers down to enable accessibility. And if it does, then I'll switch to the volume keys and see what happens. I don't believe it's there, but nothing. Of course, it's a nothing. Now, I'm going to hold down the 2 volumes. Oh, I heard some vibration.
TalkBack on. Held volume keys. TalkBack turned on. Welcome to TalkBack. Welcome to TalkBack. Page 1 of 5. TalkBack is a screen reader intended for situations or people who have difficulty seeing the screen. It gives you spoken feedback so that you can use your device without looking at the screen. You can turn TalkBack on or off by holding both volume keys for several seconds. When TalkBack is on,
Okay, so I just turned up the volume, and you heard how it sounds like. So the sound is a little bit, it's not as boomy as the sound that you will hear on a Pixel device. Look forward to seeing my review, and this has been unboxing of the Nothing 2 phone.
Weirdly, having never seen the Nothing phone at all, having mentioned it on the podcast, I saw it on Sunday, and I literally thought I was holding an iPhone Pro or Pro Max, maybe somewhere in between. Like, there are 2 camera bumps on the back, not 3, but feel-wise, it's scarily similar. I like it. I didn't used to like that boxiness. Like the first iPhone I bought was the 3GS. The 4 was out, but I didn't buy it because I didn't like the boxed offness of it. But I don't know. That kind of style grew on me a little bit. So the Nothing in the hand, I thought felt like a nice phone. So I'd be really interested to see your review, because from the quick play of it, I was quite impressed. I think the Nothing Phone 1 on Amazon now is, in the UK anyway, is £319. And I think if you were going to buy a phone, then you could potentially do worse than spend £319 on the 1, even though the 2 is out. But let's see what you think of it next week.
And you know, the Nothing 1 is no slouch. So frankly, I mean, it's a mid-ranger, 700 series, Qualcomm 700 series. So, but that's not a bad, chip at all. So if you don't want to spend this much money and you want to play with the Nothing phone, probably you get the first one if you're not within the US, that is. So if you're elsewhere like the UK and all of that, then you want to get something to play with. That might be the route to go if you don't want to put that much money into the Nothing 2.
So I guess I have one question for you, Warren. Are you going to set up and use the glyph feature, or are you going to just look at that as a gimmick?
Well, it's gonna be in my review. I'm playing with it to see if I like it or not, and frankly, I don't know. So I'm not into flashy stuff. Uh, I'm not the flashy kind. I don't. So I don't think some people would like it and some may not like it, but it's something that sets your device apart from anything out there. So, I mean, he just wanted to do something different. He wants to bring something different into the, foray of devices and phones and all of that. And yet, in the same breath, he kind of grabs that footwear look and all of that. I think Carl Perry somehow maybe is a food veiler at heart, I don't know. But he said something different, making it look different. And I'm glad we have something different for people who want their device to stand out in the crowd.
I mean, in some ways, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I mentioned this on our little internal group earlier in the week. No one ever really faulted Apple for hardware, did they? It's the software experience that's the problem. So the fact he's tried to get the hardware a bit like that, I'm kind of okay with. Oddly, I did switch for a hardware reason, which was that there wasn't a 5G iPhone at the time, and I wouldn't want to pay the money for one when one came out. But I've never, aside from that, had an issue with their hardware.
No, their hardware is excellent. I've always said, because they've got some of the best hardware out of there. But I think one of the things that really puts me off is that boxy feel. And, your Sony is also boxy, talking about boxy phones. And one of the reasons I never cared about Sony devices, I don't know, that box I'm not the one that likes being in a box. So
You like your phone's curvy.
Oh, I love that, nice finish.
You like your curvy. You like your darling's curvy.
Yeah, nice baby. Yeah.
The other thing I don't. The other thing I'd be interested to know about how anyone gets around this with the nothing. So Doug mentioned glyphs, and we'll get into whether they work or not. Talk back from a review next week. But what this is the back of the nothing phone is glass, and it's supposed to be interesting in that, as well as the glyphs, as a side gimmick, you can kind of see the internals, except you can't because they're protected. But it sort of gives you a look at the internals. But the way these glyphs are, they are lights on the back of your phone, and they will let you see priority notifications differently, and you can configure these lights differently. So essentially, it involves you keeping your phone face down, which is a bit odd. But where I wonder where this goes is, what do the likes of Otterbox do for cases, if indeed they bother making cases for the Nothing Phone 2? I mean, you've always got clear, transparent cases. That's not an issue. But what happens with your protective cases, your folio cases? How does that work on a Nothing? The Nothing One as well is the same, actually. But
then you wouldn't be seeing anything because you're basically covering up the lights.
Yeah, I know that by default. But are the case manufacturers going to try and fix that?
Well, I think that what would happen is that one could choose to have, like you said, a clear case, and we have clear cases out there. So if you really want to observe those or see those things, and yet in the same breath you want a case for your device, then definitely clear case is the way to go. And I can tell you how many times I've hit the power button. And that's another part that really bothers me, the power on the right hand and the volume keys on the left side. And I hated the fruit veil because of that. And Samsung used to be like that. I hated that too until they changed. And so frankly, if I'm going to send this baby back home, that would be one of the sole reasons beside living in a box.
Warren, tell me the truth. Have you accidentally called 911 yet? By trying to adjust your volume?
I haven't, but I have shut down. I mean, I shut off the screen when I didn't mean to shut off the screen, and it kind of just pisses me off. I don't like that at all.
I've done that so many times that one of the first things I do is go disable that SOS feature, because I'm switching phones so often that I forget which button is which, and I'm trying to adjust my volume really fast. I'm like hitting the button over and over, and I'm like, nothing's happening. And then next thing I know, I'm calling 911.
Yeah, and that one happens. I mean, I haven't called the 911, but I noticed that whenever I pick up the Samsung phone, the power button is below the volume keys, as to the Google, where the power button is at the top and the volumes are below. So every time I had to think twice if I'm holding a Samsung not to hit the power, but I've hit the power a few times trying to adjust the volume.
Yeah, it's confusing, and especially with the Pixel Fold, because that power button is actually like a longer button that feels like a volume button, like it feels like a volume rocker. So
I don't necessarily have too much problem with that, but the whole idea of, one on the other side and the others on the other side, I don't like that at all. It just irks me.
But it should literally make it easier for you not to do the thing that you just say you do. It's on the other side of the phone. How much easier can they make it? You don't want to hit 911 when you're pressing the volume button? Well, I'll tell you what, we've moved the power buttons. You don't have to do that. You're faulting them for fixing the thing you're complaining about.
No, I think because he wants to imitate Fruitvale. That's what it is. I'm
mean,
serious.
That would be beneficial for me because I can't even count how many times I've sent the SOS off on my phone because I'm trying to turn my volume down and accidentally hit the power button. Having the volumes opposite of power, I actually personally prefer it because it programs your brain to be like, okay, this side is specifically power, and the likelihood of actually triggering the SOS is reduced big time. I know just from when I had the iPhone to now with Android, basically all my phones have had the power and volume on the same side. And it took me more conscious thoughts not to hit the power button than it would if the volume was on the other side.
yeah, that's a good point. Once you get used to it, it'll be better, but the problem is, how long will it take you to get used to it? That muscle memory.
Exactly.
It's hard.
Probably the first time you call 911, then you get used to it.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I've done it more than once.
I actually did it just last week.
So I think it all boils down to where you hold your phone, because I tend to hold my phone near the midsection toward the top. And so, I go to turn up the volume on this Christmas tree maker phone, and my other part of my finger hits the power on the other side, and I tell you, I really hate that. But yeah, so my review is going to be talking about the whole experience, and next week, look forward to that, folks, and you'll decide whether or not you like the Christmas maker tree.
Warren, have you used the LG phones when they were putting their
I hated that. Don't even go there. That's one of the reasons I didn't like LG. And finally, LG changed. But I think that's why I skipped. I think they introduced that with the G3. I don't remember.
I think the G2. I think was the first one, but I'm not sure about it.
I hated that. I hated that thing on the back. It was just absolutely stupid. But LG was trying to find its way. You got the volumes and everything else, and the power on the back of the phone. Oh my goodness!
I will give them this though. At least they're trying something different instead of just copying Apple.
Yes, they were trying a lot of different things. It never worked.
It's not broken. Why to fix it? This is the point. So no one was complaining about it on the side. So why they should put it on the back?
Yeah, or else, do what Nokia used to do. And, a lot of early Android phones, had that power on the top. You guys remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I mistakenly put my phone upside down in the pocket or something.
Yeah.
I hear the phone talking.
Well, my first phone ever, it wasn't a smartphone, obviously, it had the power button on the front. It was a Sony Ericsson, and it had it on the keypad.
Oh, it's like one of those Nokia phones.
Oh, sorry, an Ericsson, not a Sony Ericsson. They hadn't merged then, but yeah.
Yeah, because some Nokia had the power in the front too. I don't remember which one it was, but I had one like that.
E5 had the power on the end call key.
There you go. Yeah. So it was just very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it used to turn on and off the screen, or to unlock the screen. I mean, we were using the combination of the keys. Like the power button wasn't related to this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was the menu and the star, wasn't it?
No, in the E5, I think it was the options key and the back key.
On the Nokias I had, it was top left and star. I think I remember
Yeah,
it
but
being
the
that.
E5 that had this one on
Yeah.
the power button on the and call key, it was like this, and they were close to each other.
So do you guys miss that kind of Nokia setup and all of that? It's kind of very interesting setup, wasn't it?
Yeah. Not really. I think it's
I
sort
don't
of
miss
moved
it
on.
either.
No,
No.
I never particularly had a problem with it though. It's just they'll put it where it is, won't they? I think I don't really like. And I know I've said this before. I don't like fingerprint sensors in power buttons simply because if you want to access the lock screen and the lock screen only, you have to put a wrong finger on. And obviously you can do. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but it just feels a bit weird. It's like, why do I have to activate my wrong finger just to see the lock screen? But I don't like that. The tap to wake or whatever. Tap to check, depending on what your mobile phone calls it. So I've never been a fan of, and I know a lot of people don't like capacitive under display fingerprint sensors, but I don't like power button fingerprint sensors for that reason.
Next two of us, I don't like that whole idea of my fingerprint reader on the power, like the Fold. And it's probably one of the things I don't like about the Fold, Google Fold here.
Just on cases, I did wonder whether the likes of folks who make the portfolio cases might bother making two-tone cases for the Nothing, so that you have a clear back, but something that protects the screen. Because otherwise, I don't really see how it works. And obviously, some people want more protection for that phone, and if you do want more protection for that phone, then but yeah, the glyphs get closed off, then that's probably a bit of an issue. So maybe you don't buy the phone at all, or you persuade, or the market persuades a case manufacturer to make something for it.
The case makers are very creative, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have some, folio cases like that. So it's just a matter of looking to see the ones that have it. And I'm almost positive there would be something like that.
Yeah, someone would have done it. The only issue, just because there are so many phones, is with cases, you almost have to go with Amazon and, pay your money and take your choice, don't you? You can't go and look at them most of the time.
Yeah. All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us.
And that brings us to the end of our content for this week. Austin, how can people get in touch with us?
To contact us, you can send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. You can join a mailing list by sending an email to blind Android users plus subscribe at groups.io. You can join our Telegram, Facebook, Discord, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The links for everything will be at the bottom of the show notes and also in the video description of the YouTube channel. And also the links are in the websites panel of the YouTube channels.
Well, we shall see you next week for what will be a very busy episode and not one to miss. As I say, the Samsung Unpacked, the review of the Nothing Phone 2. But prior to then, say bye-bye to the nice people. Say bye-bye, dude.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Say bye-bye, everybody else.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody else.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.